welcome to the Extremis Podcast Christmas Special. Oh my gosh, have we got a program for you? You guys are going to absolutely love this. First off, I'd like to introduce my dear friends, Thomas A. Christie and Murray Cook, who just came up with the most phenomenal book, Scotland's Christmas. And I'm telling you, you guys, it's amazing. Although you didn't get the tartan quite right, this is the Santa Claus tartan here, so you need a little more gold in there. But that's okay. I'll let it slide this time. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Well, lots to talk about. Basically, the idea from this book, it came around, quite by accident actually, because way back during the pandemic, Murray and I recorded a podcast with the theme of the history of Christmas in Scotland, and we had to get our heads together because we thought, well, how did Christmas take place in Scotland? How was it celebrated when it was banned for so long? So we had a quick 20-30 minute podcast about that, but someone else heard it and invited us to come and give a public presentation about it, and that was last year. So during that presentation, we got our heads together again and we thought, there's probably enough material here for a book. Let's really get into the nuts and bolts of it, find out exactly why Christmas in Scotland is so unique. But then, working out from that, once we really got into the research for it, we realised no one else had done it before. There had been no full-length account of history of Christmas in Scotland. And that really is all sort of spiraled from there.
Well, and I would have to say, the way your history worked and the way that Christmas came about in Scotland, and literally took centuries and centuries and centuries to get to a point where you were catching up with the rest of the world. It was absolutely amazing because of the different religious aspects and also the different invaders that you guys had, and everything from the Kirks to the Romans and beyond. So it's amazing you guys ever got Christmas off the ground. I mean, Murray, when you're an archaeologist, right?
Yeah. So digging the past, digging up what's left behind, the rubbish that people leave. So it's obvious that Scotland's a cold place, and it gets cold and dark in the winter, and there's always a fear. There's a fear that the sun won't come back, and actually, how do you deal with that? So you have a midwinter feast, and then those traditions of midwinter feasts. The Vikings are doing them, the Celts are doing them, the Picts are doing them, the Christian migrants coming in with the Romans, they're reinventing them. They're mixing them with Saturnalia, with Mithras, and all of these things blending together to produce something uniquely Scottish, but pretty miserable to begin with. A period of sacrifice, a religious festival where if you partied, you might get struck down by plague. And it's really only kind of 1200, 1300, that period, where we get European mainstream Christmas, very Catholic.
Yes.
A celebration of life. And actually that central message of Christmas, the most powerful being in the world, in the universe, born helpless into a manger, and then the celebration. And of course, everybody takes it as a point to go wild. There's drinking, there's people wearing masks, there's disguises, there's presents being given.
And food and food and food and food and food. Some of the feasts you guys had would put anybody to shame today.
And the problem is that none of that is in the Bible.
Right.
So if you kind of take a colder, purer look at the Bible and you get rid of the corruption, the flummery, the over-the-top ostentation, and you're left with a very cold message. And it's pure, and there is faith in God, but there's not as much fun. And famously, we get the Reformation late in Scotland. It kind of reaches Scotland later than anywhere else, and we take it more seriously. And we ban everything. We ban Christmas. We ban cakes. People are arrested for baking Yule bread. People are made to give lists to kind of ministers who are conducting interrogations. This is astonishing. Carols.
God help you if you're caroling in the street. I mean, you're literally dragged off and taken care of. So it was absolutely amazing. Now, in America, we had a small part in the 1800s where the Protestants came and tried to do the same thing in America. But it was concentrated in just the New England area, and thankfully did not last very long. They kind of got their butts booted out as far as don't tell us how to celebrate. But but other countries, oh my God, you had Germany and France and Italy and everybody else celebrating around you, and of course England, and you guys couldn't do anything. That's amazing. And that lasted how long?
Well, to the 1970s.
Yeah.
Even King James VI of King James Bible fame, even he's given a row. The ministers go to complain that he's firing cannons on Christmas Eve, celebrating the birth of his daughter, and they still give him a row.
Well, and I couldn't believe when I read the part that both your fathers were working on Christmas Day up through the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, in most countries, they were off for a couple weeks, if not even the US. We celebrate the Christmas week and then the week following into the new year. And you guys were working. That's amazing. And kids.
Yeah.
So, how did you kind of rebel against all that?
Well, what happens is we gave up Christmas Day, but we made New Year even bigger. So, New Year is the big party. People, and actually for New Year, it starts on the 31st, continues into the 1st, and continues onto the 2nd. So it's basically a 3-day party, and people are drinking. So all of the fun gets shifted, but completely removed with any religious idea at all. I mean, we even had communists from revolutionary Russia coming.
I was astounded at that the communists are going, what's wrong with you people? And you gotta be kidding me. It is absolutely simply amazing. And of course, Tom, of course, you throw in a lot of the different movies and stuff, and you can even see kind of the overall feel and how it changes through the various movies that are produced over the period of time. But it's like you start out slow and then you started to build. But it's amazing. Now, how different are you from the other countries today?
Well, that's an interesting question, because from the sort of 1990s onwards, there's a slow homogenization of Christmas traditions, and you start to see more things like Christmas crackers and Christmas cards and all those sort of things, all kind of merge into one across the UK and probably through most of Europe as well. But interestingly, here in Scotland, around about the same time, you get a whole load of really interesting, uniquely Scottish takes on Christmas, and be it the movies, be it TV series, be it music, computer games even. All of this is starting to develop, really from the 80s and 90s onwards. So even now, where that homogenization of Christmas tradition exists, there's still a lot of, interesting creative Scottish material out there now, celebrating Christmas and what makes Christmas special.
Murray, when would you say the big transformation happened from, you know, the religious persecutions and reformations and all of that until the more modern Christmas celebrations?
I mean, that really is, it's the 70s. It's there are MPs writing and saying, why can't we have a Christmas holiday on the 25th? So once it's a holiday, people take time off. Once you take time off, you want to do something. And there are kind of things that get brought back in, the things that get reinvented. So instead of milk and a carrot for Santa, we sometimes have a whiskey for Santa. So you know, moving deep fried mince pies.
Yeah.
So a big thing in Scotland, like in the States, deep fried food, but
Yeah.
we fry everything. We deep fried pizza. So now deep fried pizza is really nice.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I haven't tried it, but I'd be interested.
Okay, come over. When you come over, have some deep fried pizza. So deep fried mince pies.
Yeah, deep fried pigs and blankets.
Deep fried pigs and blankets, and all of these things just combining with the need to party, the need to. I mean, this is really, it's shouting against the darkness. It is cold. It is dark. And this is us kind of, you know, we are on the edge of the world. Beyond us, it's the Arctic. You know.
Yes, I know. And we don't see the sun for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does get a little chilly up there.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, this is fabulous. Now, you guys have, you know, just a plethora of places you're going to be visiting and discussing. Is there any place you'd like to talk about right now that, you know, that you know of? I realize that some of these things may take place before this is actually aired, but you know, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you can find this fabulous book, and you know what kind of places will it be sold at?
Well, the good thing about Extremist Publishing has always been that we're local and we're international. And this book's exactly the same. You can buy it all around Stirling. You can buy it on the internet from the, you know, the famous retailers, online booksellers, those kind of places. Lots and lots of different places people can buy it. But in terms of events, we've got a whole load of things going on. We're going to be at the famous Church of the Holy Rood, where the video promo took place. We're going to be at Stirling Castle. We're going to be up at the McManus Gallery in Dundee and Dundee Central Library. We're going to be at Doon Library as well. So we've got 15 events at the moment that are lined up. Who knows where else it might take us?
What are you trying to outdo me? All the places I visit? Come on, guys. Well, that is fabulous. That is wonderful. Well, I'll tell you, two very, very talented people, and for you guys to collaborate on this was just fabulous. And I really enjoyed, I mean, it's interesting. And like I said, I couldn't help but keep drawing comparisons between like the US or Germany or the Scandinavian countries and Scotland. And it was like Scotland was set apart on its own. You might as well have been on a different planet, which is amazing. So anyway, what else? How would you like to sum this up about your book? Either one of you, both of you.
Well, I think the thing is, it's everything. It's everything from the first people to walk in Scotland, how they fought against the darkness, all the way through to the most northerly Saturnalia in the world, the most northerly Mithraeum in the world, the World War I truce, the football game on Christmas Day.
That's
which
right.
is,
Yeah.
it's main lots of Scots involved in that. And then our resistance to the Kirk, our resistance to John Knox telling us have fun, and we wanted to have fun, and eventually we got there. And actually, how we've made Christmas, we've kind of come back into Christmas. We've rejoined the world, and we'd like everybody to come to Scotland to see what Christmas is like here.
Well, and you do. You have some beautiful festivals and some great celebrations and gorgeous decorations. So it's nice to see you are part of the world and really joining in on this, because it is a very magical time. And it's a very warm, wonderful time. And especially, as you said, when it's dark and it's cold, you need something to kind of, warm your soul. So, but I'll tell you, I so enjoyed reading this. I just can't tell you. You guys did an incredible job on this. I think you got a real winner here, and I'm going to look forward to seeing it go throughout the world and enlighten a lot of people about Scottish heritage. So you should be proud of yourselves, both of you. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I was amazed at how many different facts, and I'm sure Murray would say the same thing, that we were discovering for the first time when we were researching this book. We talk about things like the wolver, which is this mythical creature way up north. And no
which
way,
looks like a werewolf, but hey,
in no way the inspiration for Michael J. Fox and Teen Wolf at all. No,
that's a long way apart.
A friendly werewolf who leaves you a slice of fish for a Christmas present. I mean, who could say fairer than that? I mean, it's
or how about a boar's head? I mean, let's have some fun. Yeah, it really is amazing. I mean, I enjoyed really reading the various traditions and the start stop way that they kind of, it's like, well, let's get it going. No, sorry, the Kirks are there. But anyway, again, fabulous job, you guys. You should be proud of yourselves, and we'll look forward to seeing this all over the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
But we have a question for you, and that is...
Oh, you do? Okay.
That you'll have read in the book about the famous chimney demon that terrorizes kids in the Western Isles by whispering to them down the chimney in the dead of night.
Yes.
And we'd like to know what you, Santa Claus, are going to do to try and combat this anti-Christmas sentiment in the Western Isles.
It keeps the kids honest. Well, as you know, in other countries all over Europe and other areas, and again up into the Scandinavian countries, and even now a little bit in America, I do travel with Krampus, and this is kind of a derivative of Krampus. So if you follow like the Krampus legends or, Black Peter and that type of thing, this kind of like went, for every good, you got to have a little bad. And this kind of like, so as far as what am I going to do with it? I'm going to wait until it plays out. And if it keeps the kids a little bit nervous and to teach them to behave, makes my job a little easier. I don't have to, the naughty list doesn't grow quite so far. So, so I'm keeping the demon.
We just have to keep the Yule log burning just to keep it at bay.
Absolutely. And as we know, there aren't as many chimneys as there was before, so he doesn't have as much to do. So, but that's a good question. So keep listening to those whispers. Anything else?
Yeah, just to say that, we hope that people reading the book are going to find something in there that fascinates them, whether it's maybe TV series that they haven't seen before or movies that they haven't encountered that they might want to track them down. I was very intrigued to discover that Taggart had not one but 3 Christmas specials, because for anyone who hasn't seen Taggart, it's synonymous with the word grim. It's the grittiest TV series that's ever been made, just about. So the idea that that's got Christmas specials is quite something.
Yeah.
And then all these Hallmark movies that are being made over here now, it's like a little kind of sub-industry. And I mean, poor old Murray here has had to watch things like Saving Christmas Spirit, which is all about an archaeologist who comes up to Fort William and starts excavating to the northwest of Fort William, which, if you're in Scotland, actually means the Atlantic Ocean.
I'm sure Murray just loved that one.
Oh.
Well, I'm more the Carrie Elwes.
Brooke Shields.
Yes, Brooke Shields. That's right. And I'm more in that kind of movie. I don't watch Bad Santas. I hear enough about it. I don't need to see it. But anyway, well, I want to thank you guys for taking the time and talking about this fabulous book, and wish you all the best of luck with this, and a blessed Christmas. And let's keep that Scottish celebration going. Don't let anybody get in the way and stop it again.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. It's been an absolute pleasure to have a chat with you. And if you should happen to see that chimney demon when you're out on Christmas Eve, do please send it our regards.
I'll put a bug in his ear. Well, Merry Christmas, both of you, and Merry Christmas, all our watchers and listeners, and thanks for checking in on this. So, and get the book. It's a good one.
Thanks very much.
Merry Christmas.
If you would like to find out more about advertising on the Extremis Publishing podcast, please visit their website at www.extremispublishing.com for details.